Hey lovely people out there, how are you all doing? This is your Star Guide Nikita and welcome back to Nikki's Star Guide YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss the dynamic transit of planet Mars into the sign of Leo that is going to take place on 1st of July 2023, and Mars is going to be transiting through the sign of Leo till 18th of August 2023. Now, Mars is a fiery planet and Leo is a fiery sign ruled by planet Sun. And Sun and Mars share a very great relation with each other. And that is why this transit of Mars in the sign of Leo is a positive one. Mars is in debilitation right now. As I'm recording this video, it's in Gandanta zone. And as we all know that our emotions have been haywire, we have been having somewhat of a difficult time period to manage our emotions, to manage our impulse. But when Mars will transit into the sign of Leo, this aggression, this passion and determination of planet Mars, the energy of planet Mars will get channeled in a right way. At least we can do our best to do so. Now, the catch is that Mars in Leo is going to be in opposition to Saturn retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. And as we all know that Saturn and Mars do not share a very cordial bond with each other. And that is why Saturn will try to suppress the agitation, suppress the energy and determination power of Mars. But Mars will also impact Saturn up to a certain extent, and because of which there will be a tug of war kind of situation in the areas of life that are represented by the axis where the sign of Leo and Aquarius falls in our chart. So stay tuned till the end, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button. If you want to take a professional consultation from me regarding your horoscope, then you can send an email to nikkistarguide@gmail.com, and all the details are given in the description section. So without any further ado, let's get started and understand how this crucial transit of Mars in the sign of Leo is going to impact each one of us depending upon our ascendant and moon sign. As I always say, do not skip this intro part and the description part where I explain how exactly Mars in Leo is going to impact us. Mars in Leo is considered to be an excellent placement. Leo is a fire sign and Mars is a fiery planet. This is a time of gaining our confidence back after Mars was in debilitation while being in the sign of Cancer. Mars represents our physique, our courage, our actions and directions of our life path, being the natural ruler of the first house of Kalpurush Kundali. Leo is the sign of creativity, authority and living life with a sense of joy, optimism, enjoyment, fun, creativity and mainly passion and confidence. When Mars goes into the sign of Leo, it's time to step into our power, the power that lies in our authenticity. If you try to be anything but yourself during this transit, then it's not going to be a very fruitful time for you. Now, what do I mean by being your authentic self? It means that you know your worth, you know your strengths, and you know your weaknesses as well. You do not pretend to be someone else, and you are focused on your life, on your goals. In that way, you have more time and energy left to live a meaningful life that is in alignment with your soul's purpose. Mars in Leo is a charged up Mars, full of energy, enthusiasm, and vitality, ready to conquer all that comes in front of it. So expect people to undertake the tasks with courage, authority, and a sense of freedom. More recognition would be attained by the people in the field of art, creativity, government, media industry, as well as software development. Now here comes the catch. Mars in Leo would be exactly opposite to the retrograde Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. And whenever there is the opposition of Mars and Saturn, we can expect some kind of friction and a tug of war kind of situation in the areas of life that are represented by the house axis where the sign of Leo and Aquarius falls in our chart. Saturn retrograde in Aquarius would slow down and tame the fire, speed, and power of Mars in Leo. And in turn, the aggressive and determined energies of Mars in Leo would try to agitate this retrograde Saturn in Aquarius. Hence, expect some amount of friction, delays, confusion, or in simple language, expect some amount of power struggle in the areas of life that are represented by the house where this axis of Aquarius and Leo falls in your chart. Sun, being the ruler of the sign of Leo, would be transiting through the sign of Cancer, when Mars would be in Leo, which is the 12th house from the sign of Leo, indicates that the landlord is pretty laid back and in the zone of relaxation, while the tenant, Mars, has to repair and reconstruct the whole house. Not much of a support would be provided by Sun to this Mars in Leo, which means that Mars, the aggression, the passion, and the courage within us would try to take charge of our senses, while our emotions would continue to be a matter of concern as Sun is transiting through the sign of Cancer. In between, Venus would turn retrograde in the sign of Leo and go back into the sign of Cancer. Venus is passion and Mars is action. So we are prone to making some impulse-driven decisions during this time. So watch out for what it is that you are chasing tirelessly. Reflect on the actual necessity and purpose of your actions and thoughts. Now, how to make the best of this transit? So first of all, be confident and not overconfident. You have to be humble, and yet you have to know your worth. Take determined actions in the right direction and channel the energies of Mars in the right way for the right reasons. Avoid getting into ego clashes with the authorities, father, guru, or especially with fellow male counterparts like your brother, a male friend of yours, a male colleague, or your boyfriend, or a husband as well. Get busy working on your craft rather than focusing on other people's businesses. Take calculated risks. This is not the period to expect sudden name, fame, or rewards. Rather, this is a period where the dedicated and consistent ones would get benefited the most than the talented ones with zero consistency. So work hard and let the dynamic energy of Mars in Leo work in your favor. For the Aries Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your first and 8th house of horoscope. And now Mars is all set to move into the 5th house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. So this is a great time period. You all must have gone through some kind of physical, emotional turmoil during the Mars's stay in the sign of Cancer for last couple of months. Mars is in Gandanta right now, and this is the time period when Mars will move into the sign of Leo. You are gonna feel rejuvenated. You are gonna get that support on emotional and physical level, which you were lacking from last couple of months. So get ready. This is the time to heal your body, to heal your mind, to heal your spirit, and to come up stronger. This is a time when you are going to feel more confident, energized, passionate, and determined. But now here is a catch. Mars, being the first and 8th house ruler in the sign of Leo, can make you take up some spontaneous risks in life or some decisions that are very spontaneous and less planned. Or you want to live a heart-centric life, right? You want to live by your passions and desires. You want to live by inspiration. But the catch is that Saturn is exactly opposite to this Mars, and Saturn is currently retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. So when Saturn and Mars are in opposition to each other, this is kind of a tug of war situation going on in the 5th and the 11th house matters. So Saturn retrograde, what it will do is it will cause some pressure, hindrances, and delays in the process, in the task, any task that you undertake. So success will be attained. You will feel energized, you will feel rejuvenated, you will feel passionate and determined. But the results will come only after facing delay, and expect some delayed gratification from destiny, from your life itself. So do not go overboard. Saturn, if you want to be in favor of Saturn, then remain humble and put in consistent efforts. All right, I'm not saying that you should lose the sense of originality. Rather, you should stick to your original self, but by remaining humble, by being consistent, dedicated to your craft, and that way Saturn and Mars axis would be a lot easier for you. Overall results will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha and Antardasha. For the Taurus ascendant and moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 12th and the 7th house of horoscope, and now Mars will be transiting through the 4th house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. So when Mars was in debilitation, transiting through your 3rd house, it made you take up certain decisions which were driven by emotions. And now Mars will be in Leo, but in the 4th house, which is the natural 4th house of Kalpurush Kundali, that is the sign of Cancer. So now here, the passion, the dedication, the fire and agitation, aggression of Mars is meeting the 4th house energies of emotions, which means that there will be constant amount of agitation on emotional front. Your whole focus is now being shifted at the home front, at the house front, in the matters of family. So you are likely to put in a lot of labor for the family in the household chores. You're gonna probably renovate the house, or you're gonna be inclined towards spending more time within the household. But Saturn, on the opposite hand, is exactly 7th from this Mars, is retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, indicates that Saturn is asking you to put in the work and effort and focus on your career front, whereas your energy is being driven at the 4th house matters. So definitely keep your blood sugar levels in check. Definitely avoid getting into conflicts on petty matters with your family, especially with your spouse. You and your spouse, or you and your family members, or you and your bosses at the place of work might get into certain conflicts or certain debates over differences of opinions, either regarding work, either regarding familial matters, or either regarding your married life if you are married already. So you have to handle things very tactfully, and keep doing exercise, keep worshipping Lord Shiva. Your focus should be equally spread across your career, household matters, your family, your mother. Dealings with mothers might also be of the highlighting point during this time. So taking care of these things will help you the most. If you are consistent, if you are dedicated to your craft, wherever you're putting in your energy into, you have to be dedicated, you have to be consistent, and you have to keep your anger in check. That's how you can make the best of this transit. Other results will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha and Antardasha. For the Gemini ascendant and moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 11th and 6th house of horoscope, and now Mars is going to be transiting through the 3rd house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. So when Mars was in debilitation in the sign of Cancer, transiting through the 2nd house of your horoscope, it must have been a tough task for you to convey your emotions and message to others in an appropriate way, especially to your family, or especially in terms of career, or in terms of your friends and neighbor, or wherever you communicate, right? When Mars goes into the 3rd house, this is a much better position for Mars. You are going to feel in your power, you're going to feel courageous, you're going to want to take up some courageous deeds and tasks and risks during this time. But Saturn is exactly opposite to this Mars in the sign of Aquarius while being retrograde. Now Mars is the Karaka of the 3rd house and transiting through the 3rd house. So this is a very potent and prominent time period for you all. You want to do something new in your business, you want to take that risk, you want to fly high, you want to do something courageous, right? In terms of your finances, or in terms of your relationship with your siblings, or in terms of your routine life, you want to experiment a lot, you want to be spontaneous. But Saturn from the sign of Aquarius, casting aspect of this Mars, is indicating that you have to stick to your routine no matter how much of spontaneous act you want to perform. All right. If you are planning to take up admission to any course, if you are planning to do any short-term course, if you are planning to travel, your dealings with your father, your gurus or authority, especially your dealings with your siblings, are going to be crucial during this time. You have to be able to make time for these people and these aspects of your life during this time, and you cannot just be self-motivated or focused on yourself only. By performing these deeds and these acts, by giving attention to your father, your sibling, your learning and education, or by studying and taking calculated risk in terms of finances, in terms of business, in terms of your routine life, in terms of debts, if you have any, this time period will help you remain stable and achieve success after dedicated efforts. So keep on worshipping Lord Shiva during this time, and do not forget to be obedient to your father. All right, and stay humble. Do not take up any risk which is not calculated. Other results will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha. For the Cancer Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 5th and the 10th house of horoscope, and now Mars will be transiting through the 2nd house in the sign of Leo. When Mars was in debilitation, transiting through your 1st house, it must have been somewhat of a roller coaster ride for you all. You felt that energy and enthusiasm within yourself, but at the same time there was a lot of emotions getting exploded at any given moment. So this is kind of a better transit than before. Your speech is going to be concrete, your speech is going to be powerful. You want to influence people, you want to influence your family, you want to live by your principles, values, and especially familial values and what you believe in. You want to stand by that. At the same time, the 5th Lord, Mars, is transiting through the 5th sign of Leo, which means that intelligence and exercising your intelligence in a right manner is going to be crucial during this time. You want to change your job, you want to escalate at the place of work, you want to be in good terms with your authority, you want to invest your money at a certain place under certain circumstances for your future planning, or there might be some opportunities where you have to take spontaneous decisions around financial matters of your family. Then this time period is going to be crucial in these terms. Saturn is exactly opposite while being retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. This indicates that Mars will make you take up courageous decisions, actions, and tasks, but Saturn will make you take up a back seat and think about long term. Saturn being retrograde in the 8th house indicates that you are constantly reflecting on sudden life scenarios, on sudden decisions. You might even feel somewhat paralyzed to take up any hardcore risk or any major decisions spontaneously. So do not be in hurry. Take some good time. Discuss with people in authority. Discuss with people who know what you are planning to do, and then go forward. All right. Your speech is going to be powerful. Your efforts are going to be powerful. Your intelligence and intellect is going to be highly activated during this time. So make the best use of it. And if you are looking for a new job, then keep on putting in effort. This might not be the excellent time to get the job, and even if you get the job that you desire, you might have to do certain adjustments and amendments. You might have to travel to faraway place, so such things might be of concern. Other results will also be dependent on your current Mahadasha and Antardasha and natal planetary placement. For the Leo Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 4th and 9th house of horoscope, and now Mars is going to be transiting through the 1st house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. So this is an excellent time period for all the Leo natives out there. Whenever a planet is transiting through the Kendra houses, It is a potent time period. It is capable of giving you the desired results. And now Mars is also the yoga karaka for you. All right. So you must look forward to making the best of this time period. Mars is representing your familial life, your father, your gurus, your higher education, long distance travel, your spiritual wisdom here in your horoscope. And now Mars is coming to the first house of horoscope, which means that luck is on your side. You are being supported by your past life deeds. You are being supported by your brothers, your family, your mother, your gurus, and the education that you're undertaking is going to be of help during this time. So where you should put your focus is on to the matters related to education, the matters related to your spiritual practices. You want to travel abroad, you want to go overseas, you want to take up any long distance journey, or you want to focus on building your personality, enhancing your health, vitality, your physique, or you want to make cordial bonds with your sibling, especially your younger sibling, or with your father, then this is a time period when you should be focusing on that. Mars in Leo is a very charged up Mars, all right? So your family, your mother, your gurus, your sibling are going to be the motivational factor in your life, which will make you take up that risk, which will make you get going during this time. So focus on having cordial relationships here. Your spouse, if you're married, if you are in a business, you have a business partner, then this time period will be crucial in terms of dealings related to these aspects of life. Other people and their opinions will be of concern to you. You want to have a free pathway in front of you. You want to run like a marathon runner, but there will be certain hurdles and delays in between, because Saturn is aspecting this Mars from the 7th house and Saturn is retrograde. So remain humble. Luck will favor you, but with certain delays and hurdles. So keep on putting in the consistent effort. You should know your track. You should know why you're doing what you're doing, and that's how you can make the best of this time period. Other details and results will also be dependent on your natal chart and current Mahadasha. For the Virgo Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 8th and the 3rd house of horoscope, and now Mars is going to be transiting through the 12th house of horoscope in the sign of Leo. So when Mars was in debilitation in your 11th house, there must have been sudden changes and abrupt events taking place in terms of such events happening, which were shaking up your confidence, which were bringing sudden change in dynamics of your financial planning. Now Mars is in a better dignity, but again in the 12th house. 12th house is the house of subconscious mind. It is the hidden house in horoscope. All right. It is the house of our psyche. So Mars being the energy, Mars being the karaka of our direction of life path, the first house ruler in the natural Kalpurush Kundali, this is a time period when your energy is going to be directed towards taking risks, which are the outcome of which risks is going to be hidden to you. So you have to be mindful over there. You have to manage your finances really, really well during this time, because the ruler of the sign of Leo, Sun, is transiting 12 places away from in the 11th house, which means that you are prone to taking such decisions which are going to be turning out to be something else in the future. So take up all the information and only then make a sound decision. Saturn is exactly opposite to this Mars while being retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. This is a time period when you shouldn't ignore your health. You have to do exercise daily. Go for walks whenever you feel stressed out. Saturn and Mars, whenever this axis gets formed in the 6th and 12th house axis especially, or the 2nd and 8th house, this shows that your health, your diet, your routine life, the way you live your life, the way your small habits are, right? Mars is the 3rd house ruler for you. indicates and dictate a major part of your health, of your lifestyle. So you have to be mindful over here. If you have any debt, or if you are planning to get into any debt, you have applied for a loan, you want to apply for a loan, this is a time period when you should be mindful in your dealings around these subjects. So dealings with your sibling and dealings related to travel, if you are in a job setup, if you are looking to get transferred, this time period can be helpful for the same. Dealings related to sibling are also going to be very, very crucial for you. So other results will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha. For the Libra Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 7th and 2nd house of horoscope, and now Mars is going to be transiting through the 11th house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. When Mars was in debilitation in the sign of Cancer in your 10th house, you were emotionally attached and aggravated in terms of your career. There must have been certain amount of worry, tension, or concerns, I would say, in a simplified manner, in terms of your career, your authority, your reputation at the place of work, your relationship with bosses and authorities as well. But now Mars is in better dignity in your 11th house. Being the 2nd and 7th house ruler, you are determined to make new contacts, make new influential contacts, which are going to be helpful in enhancing your network circle, your income. If you are in a job setup, especially you are working in an MNC, where you have to deal with people of different cultural backgrounds, this is a great time period. If you are in some kind of managerial work, management task, you are a consultant, or you work for an MNC, or you own a business especially, this time period is going to be highly influential, and it's a great time period to gain recognition and expand your network circle. People will be recognizing you during this time, all right, but with some delays. This is the catch, because Saturn is exactly opposite to this Mars, and Mars is being aspected by Saturn indicates some friction, tug of war kind of scenario. So Saturn is retrograde in your 5th house, being the 5th house ruler itself, which means that you might hesitate yourself because of certain amount of concerns or confusion that you have before taking any major decision around your finances, around your family, or you might be highly concerned about the way you speak, the way you deal with others, the way you are performing your duties in your marriage or in your family life or at the place of work. Especially decisions related to finances and your career will be of concern to you. Even progeny related matters are going to be of concern to you, where you should be putting in your energy and effort to make the best possible decision. Saturn retrograde in 5th house aspecting this Mars will also create some delays in terms of attaining that promotion that you desire. But keep on putting in the effort. At the end, Saturn and Mars combination acts as a machine which will produce the necessary result at the end. So do not lose hope. Other results will also be dependent on your natal chart and your current Mahadasha. For the Scorpio Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 1st and 6th house of horoscope, and now Mars is transiting through the sign of Leo in your 10th house of horoscope. So the transit of Mars is giving rise to a beautiful Raj Yoga. First Lord transiting through the 10th house in the sign of Leo is a great sign, is a great time period for all the Scorpio natives out there. You must make the best of this time period by being in charge of your life, of your habits, of the deeds that you are undertaking, of the tasks that you're performing, of the decisions that you're making especially, right? You're going to feel powerful, you're going to feel in charge and confident and determined to take any risk, any action that is necessary to make your dreams come into reality. But here is the catch. Saturn is retrograde exactly opposite to this Mars in Leo. Saturn is in the 4th house, being the 4th house ruler itself, indicates that if you have invested in a property or if you are willing to invest in a property, this is a time period to deal with these matters with a mindful attitude. You must make sure that you are making sound decision, you have gathered all the necessary information, and you are not blindly trusting anybody, not even yourself, when it comes to the property related matters. You have to drive carefully, you have to take good care while traveling, you have to take good care of your health. If you live abroad, you want to visit motherland, you are in vigorous thoughts and planning, how can I make it happen, when can I make it happen, when is the correct time to do so. If you are in your motherland and you want to go abroad, you are going to be in deep contemplation mode during this time about how to make that happen. You might be concerned about your family's well-being, or if there is a renovation work going on at the in your workplace or within your home, then that might be of concern to you. Your emotional health and well-being is especially going to be of concern to you. All right, so be readily available at the place of work, be attentive there. When you are at the place of work, only focus over there, and when you are at home, only focus on your familiar front. And taking good care of your emotional well-being is very, very necessary. Worshipping Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati is going to be of help. You can even worship Lord Ganesha to get their blessings for remaining healthy and happy during this time. Mars in Leo in the 10th house is a great time period when just make sure that your own destructive thoughts do not cause any hindrance in your life. Overall results will also be dependent on your planetary placements and your current Mahadasha. For the Sagittarius Ascendant and Moon sign nators, Mars is the ruler of your 5th and 12th house of horoscope, and now Mars is going to be transiting through the 9th house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. When Mars is in debilitation at present in the sign of Cancer in Gandanta zone, this must have been a transformative time period for you, especially on physical and mental level. You must have gone through certain sudden changes in your diet, in your emotions, in the way you think, in the way you react to these sudden events in life. Now Mars is in a better dignity. It's all charged up to make you feel rejuvenated, healed, and in power. So Mars, when transits through the 9th house, this is a time period when you are likely to be very confident about what you truly believe in, what you live by, and you want to impose those opinions and values onto others. So please do not do so. Live as per you want, but live in such a way that is inspiring to others. You do not have to impose anything on others. You simply have to live by that way, and when others see you living that way and they get inspired, they do follow you. This is the kind of ideology that you should be following during this time, because Saturn is retrograde in the exact opposite house from this Mars in the sign of Aquarius. And Saturn is aspecting this Mars, indicating that your sibling is going to be, or your neighbors or your friends are going to be the reason which you might feel like they are imposing their views on you, or they are opposing you in some way or the other. So you have to make good use of your intelligence and intellect. You have to gather all the necessary information. If you're planning to undertake any course, you want to take admission, you want to travel to a new place, you want to get admitted into a college or a course which is located at a long distance, or you are a research student, then this time period is highly beneficial for you. Any task that you undertake, you have to make sure to take calculated risk, and you have to gather the necessary information before making any sound decision. Progeny related matters might also be of concern to you. Your expenses on your education might be of concern to you. Dealings related to your father, gurus, and authority, as well as your siblings, are going to be of significance during this time. Other details will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha and Antardasha. For the Capricorn Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 4th and the 11th house of horoscope, and now Mars is transiting through the 8th house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. When Mars was in debilitation in the sign of Cancer in your 7th house, it must have been one of a roller coaster ride in terms of your emotions, in terms of dealings with partner or spouse if you're married. But now Mars is in better dignity sign wise. It's in the sign of Leo, but in the 8th house of sudden upheavals. So this indicates that the energy of Mars is now being directed towards making you go through certain transformative sudden events in life. So be prepared for the same. There might be sudden decisions around financial matters, or if you are working in the field of software development, coding, civil engineering, or mining, or construction and real estate, or if you are in the field of archaeology, if you are working for an MNC, then this time period is going to be significant for you. You can earn extra money during this time, but there will be high risk involved in any financial matter that you undertake. So make sound decisions. Matters related to family and expenses on family and mother are also going to be prominently witnessed during this time. Dealings related to sibling is also be significant during this time. You are the one who is contemplating a lot more about how you want to lead your life, how you want to save up the money, where you want to invest the money, or what kind of job you want to apply next. All right, but your desires and ambition is leading you towards taking sudden decisions and risks in life, which is the 11th house ruler Mars in your horoscope. You want to take risk for your family's well-being. You want to take risk to satisfy your mind, the chirping mind that you are having right now. But this tug of war will continue throughout this transit, where your ambitions and desires are telling you to do certain things immediately, whereas you yourself are going on a back seat and taking some time before making any sound decision. Have to take good care of your routine and your health during this time. If you are expecting some inheritance, or if you are there are some issues going on in your family related to inheritance, property, or you are not able to get the money back where you have invested, the money is stuck, then this time period is going to be crucial. These aspects of life can give you some headache, or these things might even work out, but only after delays and consistent efforts. Other results will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha. For the Aquarius Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 3rd and 10th house of horoscope, and now Mars is going to be transiting through the 7th house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. When Mars was in debilitation in the sign of Cancer in your 6th house, it was a time period when you were quite unsure about your career. You were quite unsure about whether my efforts are being put in the right direction or not. Or there was some friction in what you know is right way of dealing with certain things, but circumstances were as such where you couldn't hold yourself back from engaging in certain activities even when you knew it wasn't going to be the most fruitful way of getting things done. Now Mars is in better dignity. It's a charged up Mars in your 7th house. You are gonna meet some dynamic personalities during this time, especially if you are working in MNC, if you are working in the field of media, if you own a business, if you are self-employed, if you are working in the field of international travel and tourism, marketing, or even trades and import-export. So this is the time period when you are going to be contemplating on doing the math related to how much are you earning, how much are you spending, how much are you saving up, what are the losses in your life. All right, this Mars and Saturn opposition taking place in your 1st and 7th house axis is going to make you contemplate on how much have you actually gained in life in terms of experiences, in terms of finances, in terms of career, reputation, and emotional well-being, as well as familial relations as well. So if you're married, then this time period indicates that there will be sudden growth in your spouse's career. If you're working in partnership, then your partner might become more dynamic, spontaneous, and passionate about taking sudden risks, and about which you are not quite sure of. There would be prominent uh, events happening in your sibling's life. Your sibling's career might get kickstarted. You or your sibling might travel for work or for education during this time, or for business dealings as well. Your father is going to be a prominent personality in your life during this time. He is likely to take up some spontaneous decisions about which you might not be sure of. The same thing goes with your authority and bosses, where you might try to oppose them, you might try to in vain and tell them the otherwise, but your bosses and your father will continue to do as per their free will. So by remaining cordial with these aspects of life, you can make the best of this period. Other results will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha. For the Pisces Ascendant and Moon sign natives, Mars is the ruler of your 2nd and 9th house of horoscope, and now Mars is going to be transiting through the 6th house of your horoscope in the sign of Leo. When Mars was in debilitation in your 5th house, there must have been emotional upheaval that you must have undergone in terms of dealings related to heart-centric matters such as romance, progeny-related matters, educational matters, matters related to your family and siblings. But now when Mars is transiting through the 6th house, this is a more powerful and charged up Mars. You are in the mode and zone of taking courageous actions. You want to make things happen. You are going to be in the role of soldier. You are going to want to lead your life by example. There should be strict focus on your routine, on your health as well, because Saturn is exactly opposite to this Mars. It's in the sign of Aquarius while being retrograde, which means that there is going to be this tug of war happening in your 6th and 12th house related matters, which is the house of routine life, which is the house of your karmic debts, your everyday life as well. The 6th house indicates your efforts in terms of your daily life. All right. So Mars being the Karaka of the 3rd and 6th house, here your habits, your routine life, and the way you execute tasks is going to be crucial in terms of defining how much success you can attain during this time. If you are planning to go abroad, if you are already living abroad, or if you work for an MNC, if you have to deal with foreigners, then this time period is going to be crucial for you. If you are in the field of research, science, technology, software development, or in terms of psychology, in terms of sports, then this time period is also going to be crucial for you. Your efforts are going to be in terms of enhancing your luck by taking up any loan, or if you want to take up any loan for your father or for your family's betterment, then this time period is going to be crucial. There would be certain delays, but at the end you can achieve your desired results. Financial planning is something that you must be concerned of during this time, and you have to make sound decisions only after gathering enough information. Do not ignore your health. Follow a proper diet, a clean, neat, healthy diet. Follow a good lifestyle. Exercise every day. Do some meditation and go for walks whenever you feel confused, you feel stressed out, and dealings related to your father and your brother, the male counterparts in your life especially, are going to be significant during this time. Other results will also be dependent on your natal planetary placements and your current Mahadasha.